All right, for the All-Star Open, trying to race their way in, Austin Ruskoff and Colby Whipple will have the front row. Kyle Reeder and Jason Michaud on the second row. Brian Hewitt, David Palmer on the third row. Ryan McDaniel, Randy Sample on the fourth row. Richie Joplin, Jacob Morgan round out the top 10. But it looks like those four at the back, I believe, are all already locked in. It does look like Randy Sample, Richie Joplin, Jacob Morgan, and Patrick Pieper are either already locked in or not going to attempt it tonight. Now remember, 25 laps for this race. Whoever's leading at the line for lap 13 automatically advances and can pull off the track at that point. Interesting side note to all of this is that the drivers that advance from this race into the All-Star race, they do have to start from pit road. The guys that qualified throughout the season, they get to start from the track, giving those guys that advance here something else to battle. And don't forget, one more week of racing with the Retro Truck Series as we go to the season finale next week. But now it is All-Star time. The trucks are rolling. At least five of these trucks will advance to the feature. Austin Ruskoff getting his first pole of the season. Definitely got it when it counted. Here they come into 3 and 4. You know it's going to get a little bit bumpy in this one. It's likely to get a lot bumpy in the All-Star race. But who gets to advance first? It's about time to find out. Pace car dives to pit road. Here we go. Green flag is in the air. They are underway for the All-Star Open. Kyle Reeder already on the move underneath Colby Whipple. Whipple has a big run up on the high side into 3 and 4 though. Drifts back just a little bit, but out of 4 pulls back up. That outside line just has so much momentum. And Colby Whipple takes the lead. Reeder and Ruskoff battle for second, back behind Michaud and Brian Hewitt on the move. Ryan McDaniel lurking back in 6. David Palmer in 7. Whipple definitely using that high line and the momentum out of the turns to his advantage. But back behind, David Palmer just set the fastest lap so far. Top five still all very close, still within drafting range. Hewitt keeps building up a run. He shoots back to the bottom. They get a little tight through 3 and 4, but it looks like Jason has the momentum out of 4. But Hewitt had some help from Ryan McDaniel as they go off into 1. Oh! Hewitt gets a little bump, goes up the track. Everybody holds on to it, but Hewitt drops to 7th after starting to move up. Palmer slips into 6th, and Austin Ruskoff in 3rd set the fastest lap last time. Hey, good evening, Richie, and good luck. Down the back straightaway, still Whipple, Reeder, and Ruskoff, nose to tail. McCall back in 4th, no help. Ryan McDaniel now up into 5th place. It has definitely been All-Star Week here. We had the SMR All-Star event Sunday night. Wow, what a race that was. We just finished putting out all the shorts today. And Ryan McDaniel is making his stop early. Remember, pit road speed limits are in effect for this one. I'm surprised to see anybody on pit road before the halfway point. Ryan on his way back out. Colby Whipple starting to pull a little bit of a gap on Kyle Reeder and Austin Ruskoff. Both of these drivers currently positioned would advance as Ruskoff back on the attack goes for 2nd. Austin Ruskoff back to 2nd, Kyle into 3rd. Austin trying to close the gap on Colby Whipple. Whipple just about 3 laps from advancing into the feature. Remember, the driver that advances at the halfway point can go to pit road, does not have to complete the open, and can go get in the other session to practice there. Hey, good evening, Kurt. Thank you for the sub, buddy. Austin Ruskoff is inching closer. This is going to be close to see which driver advances. Kyle Reeder has fallen almost a second back in the top 2. One more time around at the start-finish line. Next time that the leader will advance. Alan Whipple has a problem. Ruskoff goes to the lead. Whipple slow on the backstretch. Hewitt on pit road. And out of turn 4, Austin Ruskoff advances to the All-Star race. He now has the option to pull onto pit road and get out of the truck. Kurt, you may be right. The lap counter showed it. But it does appear Colby Whipple was the driver to advance. Our timing and scoring system a little bit different than iRacing, and every once in a while, the lap counter gets a bit wonky. Kyle Reeder is on pit road at the moment. And here comes David Palmer to pit road, leaving only Ruskoff, who has not completed his stop. And here he comes, Ruskoff in. Kyle Reeder coming back around to get back to the lead lap. And Ryan McDaniel has just moved up into third, now second. We saw Ryan pit early on lap 7. He is currently pulling away from Kyle Reeder, but Reeder does now have fresher tires, and it looks like Kyle is up to speed. Now, due to time constraints, we won't be able to talk to the top 3 from the open as they advance, but we will get to talk to them after the race. Austin Ruskoff off pit road out front with 8 to go. But Kyle Reeder is closing in on the leader. Ryan McDaniel currently sitting in third. Another great run. Heard Monday night. He had another podium finish. Is the bad luck streak gone for McDaniel? Jason McCod in fourth is the last one we know for certain will advance. David Palmer, Brian Hewitt back behind. Still need to get their way up into the top 5. Colby Whipple made the comment he had a good truck and he's happy to advance. It's worth noting, despite the fact that Whipple has a Ford body on it, everybody knows they always LS swap every Ford. Five laps to go in the open. Austin Ruskoff has pulled out the 2.8 second lead over Kyle Reeder. Jason McCall has just taken third. Hey, good evening, David. How are you? Ryan McDaniel now slipping back into fourth. Brian Hewitt is up to fifth, trying to run Ryan down. Remember, Ryan has much older tires, 4 laps to go. Hewitt 5.9 seconds back. Ryan is in the last guaranteed spot to advance. If Brian gets close, he's going to have to get defensive. And Austin Ruskoff just needs to take 2 more clean laps. He has a 3 1/4 second lead. As Ruskoff gets 2 laps to go here at Charlotte. Reeder in second, McCall in third. Ryan still holds fourth, but Hewitt less than 4.5 seconds back. And over a second a lap faster. He's going to have to gain a lot more speed to get to Ryan. And here we go. White flag is in the air. One more time around for Austin Ruskoff. He took the pole, slipped back a couple of spots in the early going, stayed steady, consistent, and the perfect strategy. And came off pit road with a big lead. He has extended ever since. Austin Ruskoff will win the Open. Kyle Reeder comes home in second. Jason McCall in third. Ryan McDaniel will hold on. He will advance in fourth. Brian Hewitt coming home in fifth. Daniel Palmer in sixth. All right, because we do have such a tight time crunch, we're not going to be able to interview the top 3 from the Open. We are going to get over to the other session. And we'll try and get a word with Austin Ruskoff here, at least Austin here in just a moment. So stick around, everybody. We're going to be back in just a moment with the All-Star main event here at Charlotte. right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and now it's time for the main event. As practice winds down for the All-Star race, it does look like Ryan McDaniel advanced. I thought I saw Brian Hewitt on track a moment ago. I did. It does appear he advanced as well. Randy Sample has also been advanced in, so we're going to have a whole field for this All-Star race. Now, it is a 75-lap event. They will have only one lap for qualifying again. The drivers do only have 4 sets of tires and 1 fast repair available. They've got to be careful, just like in a regular points paying race. And of course, every driver must complete a 4-tire stop under green flag conditions. The field is filling up. Patrick Pieper, Kirk Marble, Richie Joplin, Chad Ragsdale, Vic Brown, all here. Dustin Slover, Bradley James, Kyle Reeder, and Brian Hewitt also made it in, as well as Colby Whipple, Eric Walkowiak, Jason McCod, Stroker Ace, Ryan McDaniel, Randy Sample, and Austin Ruskoff. Would love to hear what you guys think. Who's going to pull it off? Who will be the All-Star here tonight? Oh, Richie Joplin does have his new paint scheme. Navy Joe Coffee on Richie Joplin's car here tonight. It looks like we've had a small issue with our overlay. We're fixing it right now. Practice will be coming to a close here in just a moment. As qualifying is supposed to start 5 minutes after the end of the open. We've been about 5 minutes, so we'll see that advance here in just a few moments. Gerald, I can't keep up. I'll have to write it down to actually remember. Hey, good evening, Tina. How are you? Whoa, 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 whoa. I will say, Tina, I feel terrible about missing Monday night due to the weather and missing out on Ryan being back on the podium. Hopefully the bad luck streak is ended. Chad Ragsdale was just attempting a new pit road entry. And let's see if we can get a quick word with the winner of the Open, Austin Ruskoff. Hey, Austin, it's Doug. You got me?
I got you.
Hey, man, you won the Open. How are you feeling about moving into the feature now?
I'm feeling okay. Now we're going to be competition's going up a little bit here, and but I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good at this track.
You definitely were looking good, and into the long run, it was obvious you were starting to gain some ground on Whipple, just not soon enough. But man, definitely looks like you got a lot of speed here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to come down to saving tires, that's for sure. These things fall off pretty quick, and luckily I was able to save them there for a couple laps early in that Open and was able to hold on there at the end.
Well, it definitely worked in your favor, and obviously your last All-Star race just a couple of days ago got a little bumpy for you. Do you expect this one to be nearly as bumpy?
I don't think so. This track being big enough, I think it'll give each other enough room, especially with the tires. Everybody's going to be conservative here early on, I think, so I think it'll be a good race.
Well, man, you've definitely had a good week. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Austin Ruskoff pulled off the win in the Open, so we'll see him get back out on track here in a moment. Qualifying should start any moment. Eric Walkowiak and Bob Ross are on track tonight. Can Bob get him a painting of a happy little victory lane tonight? Tina, I'll just answer your question with this because I know you'll get it. Ah, the joys of MS. As we mentioned earlier, they originally had planned on doing no pit road speed limit tonight, but just due to technical difficulties making that work, they will be using pit road speed limits. As practice comes to a close, we head to qualifying. And remember, the drivers that advance from the Open, they do have to qualify, but they will start from pit road. All right, qualifying begins. As Patrick Pieper rolls out on track, our fearless leader, Colby Whipple, also heads out. Randy Sample heads to the track for his qualifying lap. Remember, it is a single lap qualifying here tonight. Kyle Reeder rolls out for his qualifying run. And Richie Joplin out on track. Chad Ragsdale gets ready. He begins to roll out. It is weird and kind of cool seeing Kmart on the car again. Kirk Marble out on his qualifying run, as is Bradley James. Dustin Sluffer out on his qualifying run. Now, while we're under qualifying, we did have one update we did want to make tonight. As many of you know, one of the members of the HTSAI family, Cody Kennedy, had a very bad car accident just a couple weeks ago. I'm happy to report yesterday afternoon, Cody got to go home. And I can tell you, he is happy to be back home. We're happy to see him back at home. And hope to see him back on the track very, very soon. Eric Wolkowiak and Bob Ross out on their qualifying run. Austin Ruskoff gets ready to roll out for his qualifying run. Tyler Ott heads out on his qualifying run. Vic Brown is now headed out for his qualifying run. Still have Jason McCullough, Austin Ruskoff, Brian Hewitt, and Ryan McDaniel have not completed their qualifying runs. Remember, they can qualify to get a better position on pit road, but the drivers that advance from the open have to start from pit road. Kirk Marble jumps up to the top of the board. Tyler Ott completes his qualifying run. Bradley James did go out. He put a lap down, but did not score a time. Austin Ruskoff did go out, put in about a half a lap, and parked it again. And interestingly enough, with Ryan McDaniel and Brian Hewitt not qualifying and both of them starting from pit road, that could be utter chaos early on. All right, folks, looks like we're about done with qualifying. We should advance into the All-Star race anytime. And make sure you drop into the comments. Let us know who you're cheering for here tonight. Also, make sure you're following on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and especially YouTube. We completed all the YouTube shorts from Sunday night's SMR All-Star event. Those will be coming out. We've got a lot of trucking shorts and a lot of race shorts coming out as well, including tomorrow. We'll be working on the shorts from tonight. A lot of great stuff to do. You could spend hours on our YouTube channel. We'd love it if you did. We are approaching the 10,000 videos. Which makes me wonder how many of those are broadcast. I may have to do the math on that. Well, qualifying comes to a close. It's All-Star Racing time at Charlotte.
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the All-Star Race at Charlotte. Kirk Marble and Patrick Pieper on the front row. Vic Brown, Richie Joplin on the second row. Dustin Slover and Kyle Reeder of the third row. Chad Ragsdale, Colby Whipple on the fourth. Randy Sample and Eric Walkowiak rounding out the top 10. Tyler Ott starting in 11 next to Bradley James in 12. Austin Ruskoff in 13th. Jason McCall in 14th. Ryan McDaniel starts in 15th. And Brian Hewitt in 16th. Now remember, once everybody gets gridded up, the drivers that advance from the open will have to take it to pit road. Four of those drivers already making their way to pit road. Hey, good evening, Clay. Why aren't you out here? All right, folks, while we're waiting on them to get gridded, share in the comments who you think is going to pull it off here tonight. Who are we calling All-Star when the night is over? Kyle Reeder, Jason McCod, Ryan McDaniel have all all on pit road. Kirk Marble leads them out. Oh, well, have fun, buddy, and good luck. I hope it goes well. I know going to the studio ain't cheap. Twelve drivers out on track 4 starting from pit road. And you know those guys on pit road are hoping for a caution early to get back up into the fight. Pace car is in. And the green flag is out. They are down and away. The C12 Motorsports All-Star Race is underway at Charlotte. Through 1 and 2, the 4 drivers that were on pit road are now out on track. Kirk Marble to the high side early, pulls ahead. Patrick Pieper, Vic Brown side by side. Richie almost had a hole, couldn't get there. Eric Walkowiak could, he gets up to 3rd. Clay, who's going to win tonight, bud? Richie Joplin now battling with Vic Brown. Right behind, Bradley James and Colby Whipple fight it out. Austin Ruskoff at the back at the moment. Chad Ragsdale, Tyler Ott battling it out as well. Back behind, Kyle Reeder all alone. Brian Hewitt just ahead of Ryan McDaniel. And Jason McCall as they hope for a quick caution, as last time by, Kirk Marble set the fastest lap. Brandon, I'm so glad you shared that. How are you doing, buddy? Vic Brown trying to hold on to 3rd, while Kowiak looked a little squirrely out of turn 2. Every driver we talked to tonight said the truck was a little bit tight in clean air and a lot tight in the draft. Dustin Slover holds on to 7th. Randy Sample back in 8th, battling with Chad Ragsdale in 9th. Tyler Ott in 10th, Austin Ruskoff in 11th, and Colby Whipple has lost some ground. He is back to 12th. Kirk Marble has been pulling away since the drop of the green. Now has a 6/10 of a second lead. Richie Joplin still battling side by side with Bradley James, trying to get by. Meanwhile, Walkowiak still holds on to 4th, right behind 3rd place Vic Brown. Patrick Pieper currently in 2nd, and Marble still out front. Brandon, I really don't need the details, buddy. Kyle Reeder still alone on track, as is Hewitt. Ryan McDaniel and Jason McCall side nose to tail, working together to try and get back up into the fight. Kirk's lead now 9/10 of a second over Pieper. Vic Brown in 3rd for the moment. The battle from 4th on back is settled down, while Kowiak James and Richie Joplin all nose to tail at the moment. Ragsdale back in 7th. Randy in 8th. Dustin Slover in 9th. Tyler Ott still holds on to 10th. Austin Ruskoff still hanging out at the back of that lead pack. And Colby Whipple continues to lose ground. Let's see if we can figure out what happened with Whipple. Keep an eye on Whipple up there on the high side. Oh! Whipple got a lot of the wall coming out of turn 4. That is a big loss of speed and momentum, and he got back into it and wanted to. That truck definitely has some issues. Whipple now 1.6 seconds behind that lead pack. Kyle Reeder about 5 seconds back and gaining. Kirk Marble continuing to extend his lead. Kirk's lead now 1.25 seconds over Pieper. Vic Brown now right back to Patrick's back bumper. A driver I'm definitely keeping an eye on, though, Austin Ruskoff. We saw it in the open. Once they got about halfway, when they got to about lap 13, he was starting to move. And as they get to lap 13 here, is just taking 10th place. Kirk Marble's lead getting bigger and bigger over Pieper. Vic Brown still right there with Patrick. Another interesting rule about tonight's race that may come into play: if they go 35 consecutive green flag laps, there will be a pit stop. I'm sorry, there will be a caution after 35 consecutive laps to put the pack back together. Right now, we're definitely on track to get what they're calling the promoter's caution. Austin Ruskoff in 10th place, closing the gap on Tyler Ott. Last time by, the only truck faster than Austin was the leader, Kirk Marble. Richie Joplin losing a little bit of ground here. He slips back into 7th as Chad Ragsdale advances into 6th. Well, Kowiak had a problem at a turn 4. He is losing ground. Kirk Marble now over 2 seconds ahead of Patrick Pieper. Vic Brown still in the draft of Patrick Pieper, but now Bradley James is caught up. Worth noting, Bradley started in 12th place. And Eric Walkowiak has gone to pit road. Remember, they do have to make one green flag stop. Eric getting it out of the way here early. Bradley James still on the move, right on Vic's back bumper. Meanwhile, Randy Sample looking underneath Richie Joplin at a turn 4. Richie has the momentum from the high side, maintains 6th place. but Sample heads to the bottom in 1 and 2 to try it again. Sample still trying to get by on the bottom, but Richie pulls back ahead, and Patrick Pieper is in. Colby Whipple is also on pit road. Definitely earlier than what we anticipated. Ryan McDaniel is back out on track, as is Eric Wolkowiak after their pit stops. Richie Joplin is in. Kirk Marble gives up the lead. Bradley James, Vic Brown, Richie Joplin, Dustin Slover, everybody is in. Worth noting though, they are pitting at lap 22, which means they will need at least 2 more stops. And Colby Whipple has had a problem as Chad Ragsdale comes in. Ragsdale brings everybody else with him. Colby appears to have had problems getting... Oh! We've talked about it in the past. There's a little bump right there, and if you hit it just wrong, you're going to go for a ride. Patrick Pieper just took the lead on lap 23. Kirk Marble, though, not far behind, just 1.1 seconds. Bradley James back in third, Vic Brown in fourth. Eric Wolkowiak now in 5th place. Richie Joplin still holds on to 6th for the moment, but Ragsdale is going for it down the backstretch. Chad sends it deep into 3. Richie trying to keep him pinned down. Oh! Chad Ragsdale never lifted, but man, his truck got squirrely. He pushed up into Richie. Richie now back in 7th, may have some damage on the right side of that truck. Kirk Marble has reclaimed the lead. Bradley James in 2nd. Patrick Pieper now back to 3rd. Vic Brown in 4th. And Eric Wolkowiak in 5th. Ryan McDaniel, the only truck not on the lead lap. He is definitely hoping for a caution as well. Quite a few trucks here still wishing for a caution. Kyle Reeder still 2.3 seconds behind Austin Ruskoff. Brian Hewitt back in 14th, closing the gap on Reeder. McCall back in 15th and Ryan in 16th. All of those drivers had to start from pit road. They are hoping for a caution. They'll get one in about 7 laps. Tina, Ryan has changed his name to Stroker Ace. Bradley James is on the attack. He is closing quickly on Kirk Marble now. Bradley just a half a second back and gaining rapidly. Big Brown back in third, about 2.8 seconds back. And you know, everybody but these top two are hoping for a caution. And these two are wishing it stay green. Tina, you really never know with Ryan, do you? I think he changed his name so he didn't wear out the name you gave him. Patrick Pieper has slipped way back. He was up in second until pit stops. Came off pit road, maintained second place, but he is dropping quickly. He's now back into ninth. Meanwhile, Bradley James, the biggest mover of the race, started in 12th, up to second. And things are about to get even more interesting as we have a battle for the lead, but we have some lap trucks ahead. Austin Ruskoff back in 15th. He has lost some ground. Jason McCall now in 14th. Brian Hewitt in 13th. I'm thinking more than a few of these trucks toward the back have given the wall a bit of a kiss here tonight. Randy Sample had a problem while Kowiak, holy cow! While Kowiak has got it gathered up, that was crazy. We'll take a look. And there is the promoter's caution at lap 35. It'll bring the field back together and likely put Ryan McDaniel back on the lead lap. There's Wilcoe. Oh, out of four, he smacks the wall. Lost a ton of momentum. Randy Sample had nowhere to go. And Walkowiak never lifted. Drifts it into 1 and 2. But he does get it recovered without any damage. Everybody should be on pit road this time. And here they come. Looks like everybody will be in. Ryan McDaniel and Austin Ruskoff have not come in yet, nor is Jason McCall. McCall now coming in. Austin Ruskoff stays out. Ryan McDaniel is on pit road. Kirk Marble wins the race back off pit road. And if I didn't know any better, I'd swear Kirk took fuel only. It does look like from his numbers, Kirk Marble took fuel only on that stop. And Austin Ruskoff has still not come to pit road. With the top two on old tires, things could get sketchy on this restart. Everybody is stacked back up as we get the one to green. Austin Ruskoff and Kirk Marble out front. Both drivers still on old tires. They had three extra sets of tires tonight. I'm surprised these two did not come in and get a set. Let's hope their strategy works for them. All right, pace car is in. And green flag is back in the air at Charlotte. Remember, Ruskoff on old tires, as is Kirk. They are 3 wide. Austin losing a little bit of ground. Those old tires, they are 4 wide down the backstretch. Well, it's the All-Star race. You send it every single lap. Vic Brown on the high side takes the lead, and caution is out. Looks like Kyle Reeder involved. And it looks like there was a second incident. All right, let's take a look at the replay and see what happened. Here they come out of turn 4. A lot of bumping, and Kyle Reeder just gets the worst. Holy cow, and Richie Joplin. Let's see what we see from the blimp as they come out of turn 4. A lot of bumping in that group. Reeder goes down. Looked like Ragsdale went up, collected Richie. And several trucks get caught up in this. Kyle Reeder, Ryan McDaniel. Ryan McDaniel ended up towing to pit road. Looks like Kyle Reeder, Colby Whipple, Richie Joplin, Eric Wolkowiak, Austin Ruskoff, and Dustin Slover all came in this time. Gerald, yep, you will definitely have some wheels to repair. It's likely the entire field by the end of this is going to be dropping some wheels off. Colby Whipple running out onto the track, as is Richie. As they get the 1 to green. And it does not look like Kirk Marble came in this time. He's definitely holding on to that extra set of tires, hoping the strategy goes in his favor. Ryan McDaniel is back out on track. He's lost a couple laps, but he is still in the fight. And here they come. Green flag is back in the air. Kirk Marble, for the moment, has the nose ahead. Despite being on the older tires, Vic Brown tries to fight back. Doesn't have a run now. Ragsdale on the bottom. Whoa, Ragsdale pushes up. Almost got into Kirk. Kirk Marble still out front. Vic Brown now back up into second. Vic makes a move down to the bottom. And Vic Brown reclaims the lead. Less than 30 laps to go. Couple of drivers got the wall. Look like Austin Ruskoff, Richie Joplin both got a little bit of the wall. I think Eric Wolkowiak did as well. Chad Ragsdale now in second. Those old tires definitely hurt Kirk Marble, now back to 10. Randy Sample, Dustin Slover battling it out. And Slover up there on the high side is making up some ground here. Big run out of turn 2 gets him ahead of Kyle Reeder into 3. Oh, Reeder pushed up, gets into his side. And all the ground Slover had just made up. win away. Talk about a big setback for Dustin. He has slipped back to 13. Kirk Marble now in 14th. Richie Joplin back in 15th. Big Brown out front, second, third, and fourth, nose to tail. Chad Ragsdale, Patrick Pieper, and Bradley James. Tyler Ott back in fifth, and there's still a big battle brewing here. Kyle Reeder, Brian Hewitt, Randy Sample, Eric Wolkowiak still battling. Patrick Pieper starting to peak low for second place. Tyler Ott back in fifth, less than a second back from Bradley and closing. And now the group behind is settling in. Brian Hewitt to sixth. And Hewitt making his way forward as well. Vic Brown's lead holding at about a half a second on Chad Ragsdale. Brian Hewitt still trying to close the gap. As we've got a truck coming to pit road, Randy Sample is in. They all should be within the fuel window. So we'll likely see final stops underway before long. Looks like Patrick Pieper is headed in. Jason McCott and Richie Joplin also on pit road. As final stops are underway, Vic Brown gives up the lead. He is coming in. Eric Wolkowiak, Kirk Marble, Kyle Reeder, Patrick Pieper, Richie Joplin, all on pit road. Randy Sample did a fuel-only stop that time to gain some ground. Patrick Pieper not far behind. Chad Ragsdale coming to pit road for his final stop. Bradley James now holds the lead. Tyler Ott in second. Brian Hewitt in third. Dustin Slover, Colby Whipple now in as well. Brian Hewitt, Austin Ruskoff currently first and second. Randy Sample now up into third as he comes to try and get back to the lead lap. Brian Hewitt brings it in for his final stop. And Randy Sample just go, oh no! Ruskoff got out of shape out of turn 2. He's stuck to the, oh no! The caution is out. What a turn of events. Kirk Marble got caught up in that and had to tow to pit road. This is going to shake up the running order. All right, let's take a look at Austin Ruskoff. He came out of turn 2 but got stuck in the wall. And when he brings it down, Kirk Marble just had nowhere to go. Watching Kirk from the blimp. Kirk and Kyle, man, they got the worst. Austin Ruskoff barely misses it. Gerald, definitely some big ouchies on that one. Several drivers have come back into pit road. Austin Ruskoff and Kirk Marble out of contention, more than likely. Both drivers still on pit road. And looks like Hewitt may be out as well. Hewitt is officially out of the race. Bradley James has the lead. Bradley and Chad Ragsdale on the front row. Randy Sample, Patrick Pieper on the second. Vic Brown, Eric Walkowiak on the third row. Tyler Ott, Dustin Slover, Colby Whipple, and Jason McCaud round out the top 10. Just over 10 laps to go. It'll be a dogfight to the end from here. Colby Whipple has come back to pit road. Everybody is stacked up and ready to roll. 9 trucks left on the lead lap. Jason McCall, the first truck, 1 lap down. Here they come out of turn 4. Pace car dives to pit road. And green flag is back in the air with 10 laps to go in the All-Star race. Chad Ragsdale and Bradley James, their first time up front tonight. Pieper trying to make a run to the bottom, can't get there. Meanwhile, Ragsdale up on the high line will take the lead as they come to 9 to go. Eric Walkowiak at the back of that lead group trying to fight his way back to the front. He's going to make it 3 wide. Whoa, Randy Sample got loose. He goes up the track, loses ground. Meanwhile, Vic Brown back up into 5th. Walkowiak still in 6th, but Dustin Slover has really been taking advantage everywhere on track. Slover now to 3rd. Oh, Pieper's in the wall hard. The caution is out. A bunch of trucks caught up. Patrick Pieper has had to tow to pit road. A lot of the field caught up in this. All right, let's take a look at what happened. Ragsdale looked like he got a little bump. And Pieper went for one heck of a ride. Eric Walkowiak lost his hood. Looking down from the blimp, you see the moment where Pieper ends up under Ragsdale, comes across, gets Vic and Eric, and several of the trucks trying to avoid it go through the grass and still get caught up. So Tyler Ott, Brian Hewitt, Vic Brown, Richie Joplin, Jason McCall, Patrick Pieper, all of them caught up in this. Austin Ruskov gets waved around, getting one of his laps back. Bradley James will be in control on the restart, and it looks like we'll be restarting with 3 laps to go. We saw Dustin Slover on that last restart just marching his way through the field. But Bradley James has been marching his way to the front all night long. Still 8 drivers on the lead lap. Dustin Slover, Bradley James, Vic Brown, Colby Whipple, Randy Sample, Chad Ragsdale, Eric Walkowiak, and Tyler Ott. We'll get the restart with 3 to go. This race does have to finish under green flag conditions. Pace car is in, and a green flag is back in the air. 3 laps to go in the All-Star race. Bradley James jumps out ahead. Whipple on the bottom, now to second. Ragsdale now up into third. Slover is drifting back. Bradley James on the top, 3 wide as Colby Whipple gets by, but Ragsdale still fighting underneath. 2 laps to go. Oh, Whipple gets a bump from Bradley. They are in the wall. And caution is out. We'll go to a green, white checkered finish. Let's take another look at that incident. Looking down from the blimp, James just pushes up the track just enough to get into Whipple. Whipple turns down and gets Ragsdale. And keep an eye on Chad Ragsdale. There you see the bump, and they come up. Slover gets a piece of it as well. Chad does stick the landing. Man, I'm sorry you're out, Richie. I thought you'd be in the fight. Eric Walkowiak is back on pit road. Jason McCall getting one of his laps back. Looks like we'll be down to 5 trucks on the lead lap. And remember, the All-Star race does have to finish under green. Should be getting the 1 to green this time by And then the 2-lap shootout to see who's going to be the C12 Motorsports All-Star. Bradley James, the biggest mover of the night, came from 12th to get to the lead, but Vic Brown up on the high side. Randy Sample, Tyler Ott, Eric Walkowiak, all still in the fight. All right, here we go. Pace car dives in. Bradley James in control. Green flag is back in the air. 2 laps to go at Charlotte. And James shoots out to a big lead quickly. Randy Sample trying to pull clear of Vic Brown. And Sample now to second, Vic to third, but Tyler on the bottom, on the move. Here we go, out of turn 4. The white flag flies. One more time around. Who's it gonna be? Bradley James still ahead. Randy Sample trying to fight back on the bottom. Bradley clears out of turn 2. One last shot into 3 and 4. And they will not get it done. Bradley James will get the win at Charlotte. Randy Sample coming home in second. And Vic Brown coming home in third. And let's see if we can talk to our top 3. Vic, congratulations, back on the podium, but man, mid-race it looked like you were the truck to beat.
I was feeling pretty good there. I really struggle under with green flag pit stops, and I know I gave up some time there, and then we had that caution. So, but yeah, I had a great time tonight.
Well, man, it was an awesome run. You definitely looked fast. Great job tonight, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Enjoyed it.
Vic Brown coming home in third. Randy Sample comes home in second. Randy, congratulations. You came home in second, I do believe, at your first C12 Motorsports podium.
Yeah, man, it was a pretty good race. Just didn't have enough at the end.
Well, you definitely gave them one heck of a run. That was quite a battle the last few laps between the 4 of you up front.
Yeah, we had to try to save tires the last green flag pit stop in case we needed them at the end, and got a lucky break on the next to the last restart with the wreck, and didn't have enough of a jump on the final restart.
Well, man, you put on one heck of a race, one heck of a show. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Thanks for streaming.
And as mentioned, I do believe that is Randy Sample's first ever C12 Motorsports podium finish. And our winner, Bradley, congratulations, man. You are the C12 Motorsports All-Star.
Appreciate it. Finally got a win.
You have had some close calls, and there's been countless weeks where you've been extremely fast, only to get caught up in somebody else's bad luck late in the race.
Yeah, it's nice to have one finally go my way. I got into Kobe there, but he was holding him so tight. I didn't realize he was gonna go so low. Just a little contact.
Man, still one heck of a fight to the end and a great finish. Congratulations.
Thanks again.
Bradley James finally in victory lane. It is long overdue. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in for the C12 Motorsports All-Star event. Don't forget, tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern, Home Motorsports is back on track. Hope you guys had as much fun as we did. Have a great night, everybody.